Hey there, this is the first generation Mercedes-Benz GL X164 generation. Let's review it. But first, a little history lesson. The Mercedes-Benz GL was Mercedes' first full-size luxury car released in 2006. It was exclusively only made in America because except Americans no one would buy this car. I mean some people imported them. This one's an import for example. Anyway, it was mostly based on the M class and it was like basic SUV, but it was like very unreliable, so that was annoying a little bit. Then in 2008 or 9 it got facelifted, which got some different bumpers and some different engines, stuff like that. And then in 2011 it got refreshed, which it got some more design tweaks and different engines. And then also in 2011 it got a special trim level, which we called the Grand Edition, which had a terrible looking grille, really cool interior colors with some cool trim, stuff like that. And then after that it got the first gen got discontinued and the second gen came out. And lastly, let me get in detail about what this car is. This is a 2008 or 2009 facelift Mercedes-Benz GL320 CDI, finished in this obsidian black, I think it's called. So without wasting your precious time, let's start with here at the back of the first generation GL. You can really see there isn't much because this is back then Mercedes didn't, in my opinion, really design their cars. I mean, you have like tail lights which are decent looking with chrome strips. And also chrome stuff goes on like here. And like it's also very curvy, which I really like. And also you get proper exposed exhaust, which is good. Like, why would they hide these? They look cool. And except that, it's pretty generic, except all the badges and your license plates. And tons of trim. Because when I did that, when I checked the footage from the camera, I found out that you guys actually couldn't see the exhaust, so here they are. Just ignore the fact that one of them is pointed a little bit more outwards than the other one. Here at the side of the GL, as you guys can see again, there isn't really much going on. Like you get this chrome trim, which is basic Mercedes design of this era. And you also get this typical SUV step thing. And I mean, I wouldn't trust stepping on it anymore, but it exists. And you also get some pretty nice looking wheels. And lastly, here in the front of the Mercedes-Benz GL, if you ask me, this is the worst looking part of the car. I just don't really like the way these headlights are shaped and where the chrome parts pass through the grille. And by the way, these chrome pieces aren't metal, they're just plastic, which is kind of cheap. I'm surprised that they didn't break. And only in the facelift, by the way, you get these LED daytime running lights. If your car is a pre-facelift, then you just get like a raw fog light looking thing. And you also, if you get the facelift, you get these like much better looking grille down here, which is also pretty nice. Like it looks more sporty. The pre-facelift just looks weird. And you get the classic Mercedes 3-point star, and here on top of the grille you get some, let me show you. You get these air vents, which are pretty nice as well. Fun fact, actually only this one works, the other one is blocked, which is kind of weird. Next up, the mentioned before, this is a GL320, so under this extremely heavy hood you get the Mercedes-Benz OM642DE30 engine, which is a 3-liter turbo diesel V6. It produces around 225 horsepower, 540 Nm of torque. It's made it to a 7-speed automatic transmission, which drives all 4 wheels, allows the car to accelerate to 100 km/h in around 9.6 seconds, and it tops out at 210 km/h. One fun thing I would like to actually mention about this engine, when you actually floor it, you have to wait for the turbo to spool up. Like when you floor the pedal, like slowly gets off the line and then suddenly the power comes through, which is kind of funny in my opinion. Anyway, now let's move on to the... I don't know if I mentioned before, probably didn't. This car has got air suspension, which is kind of cool. I think it's only available up front. Like this part doesn't move at all, but it's kind of weird. Anyway, before I explain the air suspension, I would like to talk about the wheel. It's a 19-inch. I talked about it. Now let's show the air suspension. Actually, this car has a really interesting air suspension. Like it's like self-leveling for 2008. If you ask me, it's pretty cool. Like you can go up and down, but it can also level itself out. Like when you go up to speed, it can lower down to increase the handling, or then the stability, or like you can lean into a turn to actually increase the handling, which is pretty cool. Here on the inside of the GL, as you guys can see, there isn't really much inside. I mean, like, you get nice squeegee materials, the quality, everything is put together fairly nicely. I mean, some things make noises, which isn't really nice, but it's an old car, so it's kind of expectable, and it's also a Mercedes product, so it's, yeah, put together a little cheap. Anyway, here on the door panel, you can get some wood trim. I think that's an option, though I don't really know. You get door locks, which is normal, power windows. I mean, if you can't get power windows on a Mercedes at this point, like, what the heck? More squeegee nice materials everywhere, armrests, and you get a really big door pockets on front, yeah, which is nice. And you get some Harman Kardon speakers, which the badge broke, unsurprisingly. These seats are really soft and comfortable. They're leather, obviously, and they're also power operated, and they're memory seat, memory stuff, which is really cool. And yeah, I mean, I just get some more wood trim, air vents, which is nice. You get a really big glove box, which is really nice, and inside the glove box you get this CDC button, and when you press that you get your 6 CD changer, which is pretty cool, and you get used to using that because that's pretty much your almost only your video option. And the second option is you can connect an iPod, but who uses an iPod? I mean, here on the center console you get this really big, really nice armrest with tons of storage underneath. And you also get a car phone in here, but like rubbish. I don't know how to connect my phone to it or anything. It's really stupid. Here you get some grab handles, which are really well put together. They don't budge at all, which is cool. And you get some cup holders here, which are big. I mean, this one's actually bigger for some reason than this one, which is kind of weird, but oh well. And you can also store your cards. Cool. And you get, as you can see, more wood trim. I mean, this isn't real wood, it's just plastic, but yeah. Moving on to the center control stuff, you get this bottom storage area, which you have your ashtray and your cigarette lighter. And you're also going to be using that to your power stuff, because there isn't any USB ports or anything inside this car. And on top, if you pay the option, you can have an off-road controls here, but this car doesn't have that option, so you just get coin storage inside. It's good enough. Just don't put too many coins inside or else it doesn't really open, which is kind of weird. Here you get some more controls like heated seats, and if you pay the option you can also have cooled seats, but this one doesn't have it. The air suspension, off-road stuff, ESP off, and parking sensor buttons, which are basic. Here you get your air con, which is, I mean, it's kind of, as you guys saw it before, it's kind of put together cheaply, which I don't really like. But it works, it's decent enough, and it cools nice. It's just really loud on max fan, which is kind of stupid. And but one cool feature I like is AC rest. When you press this button, even though if the ignition is off, the aircon still works, which is kind of cool in my opinion. And yeah, on top of the air conditioning controls, you get the Command TG1 system, and it's not really good. It's really slow, and it's just like, there isn't really much in it. It's kind of annoying. There isn't any features in it. It's kind of sad. Yeah. And on top of it you get some aircon, air vent things, and obviously they broke, unsurprisingly. Oh yeah, and also on the top of the dashboard you get this little bar thing, which is your parking sensor. Like when you approach the things, it just lights up and stuff like that. I can't really show you that now, so yeah. Here at the ceiling of the GL, as you guys can see, there are some grab handles, which are surprisingly put together pretty good. You get a sun visor with a vanity mirror inside and it's lit up. Actually, it's really funny way this light works. Like there's a button here, like you can turn it off by yourself, which is really funny. And also you can take this out and block the sun from this side. And if the sun still ends up coming from here, you can also lower this one, this sun visor, and you get protected by sun all around, which is pretty nice. And also you can extend this one, which is also pretty cool. Here at the top you get your map light, which is nice. And actually the fun weird thing that when you press these buttons it doesn't affect these ones. There are lights under the central mirror, and yeah, it turns those ones off. This button turns these lights off. I don't even know if you guys can see because it looks pitch black on my screen, camera screen. Anyway, and get sunroof controls because yes, this car has a sunroof, which is nice. It's power operated up front, and you get another one up the back, but that one isn't power operated, which is kind of sad. Here at the driver's side, as you guys can see, it's pretty nice. You get like this start-stop button. If actually the fun fact, if you don't have the start-stop button, you can still start it up with the key by just stick it in the hole. Because some cars don't come with the button, which is kind of weird. I don't know why is that an option. I don't get it. Anyway, you get some more wood trim here. You get a really nice steering wheel, which is leather and wood, which is nice. This car, as you guys see in the center console, there isn't a shift lever, so this one has a column shifter, which is pretty nice. And since there's a column shifter here, they had to move the blinkers and everything onto this lever right here. So it's kind of funny, and cruise control, which is also nice. Here in the gauge cluster screen, as you guys can see, it's like a Christmas tree because I had to turn on the ignition, so this screen works, because it doesn't work when the ignition is off. The gauges are pretty nice, easy to read. The only weird thing I don't really like that this car doesn't have a temperature gauge. You had to go to its corresponding screen so you can see the temperature of your car. And also, let me explain the screen actually a little bit. This top screen tells your info, like your music and all the basic stuff, which is nice, and messages, more car related messages, but still. Anyway, and the bottom screen only tells your some random information like that's a temperature or how fast you're driving, a digital readout if you want, and what gear you're in. And also fun fact, if you want to drive this car like a sports car, if you're weird like that, you can have like paddle shifter like thing, like buttons that allows you to shift the car. Here you get your light control, which is basic, and down here you get your handbrake release, because this car has foot operated handbrake, which is kind of weird. Like, it's kind of stupid, I don't really like it, but it exists. Oh yeah. And also here you get the controls for all of the power windows, and we get to this one later because that's a little more interesting. Here at the, as you can see, there isn't really much because yeah, old car. I mean, dome lights and grab handles and stuff like that. Wood trim and the back materials here, and really that squeegee like there up front, which is kind of sad. And but anyway, you get like netting, which you can store stuff in here, and a not so big door pocket. It's kind of small, but it's big enough to store most items. Here you can have, here you get an armrest, so, and cup holders, which are kind of expected. Like, why wouldn't you have them? Here you get your aircon controls. Like if you pay the option, you can control the air temperature stuff back here as well, but this car doesn't have that option. Just get automatic air conditioning, and that's pretty much it. It is headphone jacks and these volume controls, which I have absolutely no idea what they are for. Like I never found out what their use is. And you get some more air vents back here. And obviously this one broke, unsurprisingly. And obviously the star of the show for the back seats is these rear-seat entertainment systems, which you can play CDs and stuff, which is also pretty nice. It also comes with a remote, which is also pretty cool, and you take a remote and store it somewhere down here. You guys can't see it probably, but there's like a storage bin down here. And also an ashtray, because you're supposed to smoke for some reason. And yeah, and also the fun fact about these rear seat screens, like the place where you store the CDs for these things are in the worst place imaginable. They're down here under in this general area. There is your CD player, Which is a really stupid position for it. I don't really like it. And also another funny thing, the battery for this car is not under the hood or in the boot. It's here under this carpeting, which is really stupid. I don't know why it's down here. Anyway, but it's decent enough back here. The seats are comfortable, leather and stuff like that. Anyway, let's move on to the worst bit of the car. Now, in order to get into the third row, obviously this isn't power operated, it's manual. You need to pull this grab bead thing that folds the seat down, which is, yeah, straightforward. And then you pull this red lever and it just unlatches it. But for some reason in this car it doesn't unlatch, so I have to climb in like this. So inside we go. And yeah, and then you can raise the seat back up. Right here in the back seat, third row, it's not good. It's really cramped, and I don't like being in here. I mean, if the front passengers are sitting upright, not too bad. I mean, you can handle probably like half an hour in here. But like, if the front passengers don't want to sit upright, then you're in for a really sticky situation. It's not nice in here at all. At least you get the most luxurious item in the entire universe, a cup holder, which is nice, and some armrest, which is also nice. And yeah, that lever that I showed on the driver's side, window operating thing that I showed up front, that opens this window, which is really interesting in my opinion. And yeah, it doesn't really roll down, it just moves outwards, but it's still open, but it still counts as open, so I don't really care. It's kind of cool, but obviously I wouldn't sit back. And lastly, here at the, it's obviously to access it, it's power operated. Obviously this is luxury SUV after all. Yeah, too nice, I like it, cool. And here at the back you get tons of storage, like it's huge back here. Even with the second row seats up, it's a lot of storage area. Obviously, if you fold it, it's even bigger, but I can't fold that seat because the lever for it broke, unsurprisingly. So yeah, you get your third row controls, your emergency items, whatever, and a 12-volt socket if you're going on long trips and you need to cool stuff down. And you also get your spare tire down here. It's obviously not a full size, it's a space saver, but spare tire nonetheless. At least you don't get those stupid tire repair kit, whatever they're doing here. And yeah, obviously it's kind of surprising that the previous owner never took this out, and we never took it out either. Which is really funny, but which is also very cool. And also uncool feature, I think that's something, but that's a federal thing, I don't know, because this car came from the States. You get a manual release from the inside of for the boot. And obviously the lever broke, so now you need to pull this instead. So if you want the boot to unlatch, which is really stupid. Anyway, it's the power operated works, obviously. And actually, if you find one of these that works, you're really lucky, because these things tend to break instantly after you buy. Anyway, but this one works, which is cool. And also there is a reverse camera, because I'm stupid and I didn't mention in previous. So there it is, Mercedes-Benz GL320 from 2009. Would I recommend buying one? No, they're like extremely unreliable. If you like really want to buy one, then get the one with the 3-liter diesel, because every other engine is just rubbish. And obviously, actually, this car had a little bit of a rough pass as well. It was drowned in an underpass, and so that way actually has a new engine in it. Anyway, if you want it, it exists. They're not that expensive either, really. So if you want, you can have one, but I wouldn't say buy one. But here it is. It exists, and yeah, it's decent enough, I guess. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Now, you may be wondering why I didn't drove the car in the video, because I can't drive. I mean, I can drive it in an empty parking lot, but that wouldn't be enough information for the video. So anyway, Thanks for watching again, and bye.